Hey foodies, thanks for watching. Today I've got a special guest here, Jamie, and he is from the Canada Pawpaw fans group on Facebook and on YouTube. And a little while ago we did a talk about the different varieties of pawpaws, and you brought some more here from the garden, which is great. And we want to cook with them, and what can we do with them?
So pawpaws come around every fall in Ontario, and for foodies they're a pretty popular fruit. They're hard to find. You can cook with them. I know people who make and love pawpaw bread, but they lose a lot of their notes when you do that. So some people are fine with that. Some people want to keep that kind of pawpaw smell, especially, that comes with them. So instead of heating them, which is where those notes get lost, we try to fold them into a recipe in other ways. And you were thinking in a whipped cream today.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I want to do it in a vanilla Swiss roll with folded in pawpaw and whipped cream, and then we roll it in like a log, and I think it's going to be
That sounds really good.
really good.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
So we need to start with a few things. We need to start by sifting our flour and our sugar and our baking powder together. So if you want to grab that,
For sure.
and we're just going to pour that right there.
Do I need to?
Yeah, and then we're just going to shake that. Oh, you can just shake the sieve down, and then it'll slowly go down into the bowl. And so while Jamie is sifting, this is going to make the cake really light and really fluffy.
So the sifting the flour is what does that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we can also press that down. Get
You
those.
said I didn't need to whisk it.
You don't have to whisk it. There.
There we go. All done.
Okay, so that's all done. We're gonna set that aside, and we're gonna crack 4 eggs. And when we crack the eggs, we want to crack them all in one at a time in a bowl, just so that we make sure we don't get shells in there.
That's
If you
a good
wanna,
idea.
if you wanna crack, you can crack ahead. Sorry. So I'll dump that one in. Like that. Great. And then one more.
Let's see if I can do it. Oh, look at that.
Nice. And we're gonna want to whip this up for quite a few minutes just to get it really light and fluffy. So we're just gonna turn it on high and just let it whip. Okay, so you can see it's gotten a lot lighter in there. We're gonna add the vanilla, and I want to note that the original recipe called for whipping the confectioner's sugar with the egg, but because it's gluten-free flour that we're using, we don't have to worry about that, because the flour you want to make sure doesn't develop gluten and get tough. But with gluten-free, you can beat it and beat it and beat it, and it's not going to get tough, which is really nice.
We don't have to worry about that?
That's right. So we're going to add the flour in. If you want to put the flour in.
Sure, just all in one thing?
All in one go. Okay, and then we're going to turn this on low and just mix it until it's combined. Okay, so I'm going to have you scrape the outside the bowl, if you could.
For sure.
You want to get all that good stuff. Make sure it's all well mixed. Because I hate biting into a cake and having like a big chunk of dry.
Chunk of flour.
Yeah, chunk of flour. There we go. That's great. So we're just little mix. And that's it. So we're going to just spread this out on a greased cookie sheet with parchment paper. So I've gone ahead and lined the sheet with parchment paper, and then I've greased the whole thing, the sides as well. And that's just so that all of this fits out, like pours out really nicely. So if you want to pass me the spatula, and I'll just scrape that off. Okay, good enough. Oh, we got a little bit on that side. There we go. Do that. And then I'm going to pour this out.
You can see all the air that got whipped into it.
Oh yeah, it's really light.
So that helps it be fluffy when it's...
Yeah, yeah, it does. And you might be thinking that there's not a lot of batter here for the size of the pan. You want it to be really thin. So you just want to spread it out as best you can to all the edges, because we're making a roll cake. It's going to be spread out, and then we're going to roll it up into a log. And so I'm going to put this in an oven, preheated at 335 degrees for about 8 minutes, or until it just springs back when I touch it. It's going to be golden brown. And while that's heating, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start pulping these. If you want to see how we pulp these, you can watch the Pawpaw video, because we pulp a whole pile of them on camera. But we're going to do this off camera just to speed up a bit of time. See you in a moment. Look at this. It looks beautiful. Ooh, that's been on the warm side. So it baked for about 10 minutes in our oven. And I'm going to ever so carefully pull this out. It's warm. Okay, so we're going to move that out of the way. Okay, so now we're going to flip it upside down, peel that away. And what we're going to do is you're going to take some of the cornstarch, and you're going to dust it all on here quite heavily. So I'll help you with it, because we want to keep the cake from sticking. Okay, and then dust a bit of that. So now I'm going to pull this back, and we're going to put this, that, and so we're going to roll it up. So the first roll is always a little tricky, and then we're just going to roll it quite tightly and pressing. And the reason we're rolling it is so that it cools in this shape.
In that shape.
So now that I've rolled it, can you pass me the cloth and spread it out? And then we're just going to wrap this up in it. There we go. And that's just to help hold it. Okay, so this is going to go in our fridge for probably a half hour, and then we'll be able to put it all together. So while this is cooling, we're going to mix together the whipped cream and the pawpaw. Okay, so we've got some beautiful pulp here. Oh, it smells so good. What I like about mixing different pawpaws is you get the best of all the worlds. You've got that custardy banana flavor, and then you've also got that caramel from the really ripe ones, and then you've got...
Yeah, the older you let them go, like these are pretty recently off the tree and they're still pretty green, but then they get this dark color, and that means they're going to have a lot of that custard flavor to them.
Yeah, it's really nice. Okay, so we're going to mix this together. So it's essentially just putting the two together, and we're just going to fold them together.
All right.
So put them together and let's fold. Just fold.
So I'm not whipping, I'm folding.
Yeah, we're going to fold. And it's mostly just so that we can keep the air in the whipped cream.
Okay, so like that?
Yeah, a little bit like that. I find just going around and then through and then around and then through. Yeah, something like that. And that's great. Look at that. That looks really nice, Jamie. I mean, that's really good.
Thank you.
Though, I think we have to try it just to make sure.
Too bad.
So here's a spoon for you. And we'll just make sure it has enough pawpaw in it. Make sure it's not overwhelming of whipped cream. I like it.
Okay.
I think it's pretty good.
It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Okay.
Tastes like ice cream.
Yeah, it does taste like ice cream. Oh, that would make a really nice ice cream if we froze that just in its state, and I'm sure it'd be really tasty.
You did a mascarpone one, didn't you?
Yes, I did a mascarpone pawpaw.
Ice cream.
Yeah. Not on camera. If you'd like to see that, let us know in the comments below, and I can do a mascarpone pawpaw ice cream. It's really good.
You want to see that? It was really good.
Okay, so we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes, and then when the cake is cool enough, we're gonna put it all together and we're gonna look at it and see what it looks like.
We eat it.
Yeah. So this has been in the fridge for about 10 to 20 minutes. It feels cool to the touch. So let's unroll it. Oh, it's looking good so far.
Oh yeah, it's got that kind of spring.
Yeah. So we're going to unroll it, and it's okay if it cracks a little bit because we're just filling it with whipped cream and Pawpaw. So
Right.
we want to take some of this, and we're probably not going to use all of it. So we want to start at the end
Mm-hmm.
and do a generous amount. I'm putting at least a centimeter or 3/8 of an inch thick of whipped cream and Pawpaw filling. Oh, this looks good so far.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we might use it all. Look at that.
Yeah, we can.
So it's going to push it out further, so
Right,
we don't
okay.
have to do the whole thing. There, that's pretty good. We want to go close to the edge because, again, it's going to smear it out. Okay, so now it's just slowly but surely, and you don't want to press too firmly. You can see I'm just basically lifting it up.
Mm.
And I'm just going to move this out just a tiny bit more, just so that it sticks.
Right.
There, just
At
on
the
the
very
edge.
end,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's very thin there. And oh my goodness, this is huge. Look at that. Do you want to get the long plate? And we're going to slide that right on. Look at that. That's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Okay, so I think we should dust that with a bit of icing sugar. Just to... Oh, look at that. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's beautiful looking. So when you're cutting into these, you want to use a serrated knife.
Okay.
Because if you're using a straight edge knife, it's just going to press down, whereas you want to just do like a sawing motion. So
okay. So it doesn't squish all the filling out?
that's right.
Uh,
And you can see, here we'll grab another plate. There we go. And look at that, that's beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's a good generous size piece. Oh,
sure is.
look at that, that's so pretty. The swirl and that's really pretty. So, do you want to try it?
Absolutely.
Okay, I think there's forks there,
Forks
and
here.
let's give it a try. We'll see if it meets the Pawpaw fan.
I just squished it
That's all right.
and all the stuff came. Mm. It's like strawberry cheesecake.
Yeah. But
Strawberry,
Pawpaw.
sorry, strawberry shortcake.
Yeah.
It's like strawberry. It's like strawberry shortcake with Pawpaw in it instead of strawberry.
Yeah.